Hey, I'm John Cannell, and today on Preppy Kitchen, we're making a velvety, zingy lemon curd. So let's get started. First off, grab your lemons. We want all the flavor from these, so we're gonna start by zesting 2 of them. So much of the lemon flavor comes from the lemon oil right at the surface of the skin. Give your lemons a nice wash, and then it's time to zest. We want to end up with about 2 tablespoons of zest here. If you haven't had it, lemon curd really is like liquid sunshine. It is perfectly sweet. The velvety, soft, melt in your mouth texture, richness from the butter, brightness, and this fresh feeling from all of the lemon juice and zest. My mouth is watering just thinking about it. You can buy lemon curd from the store, but it is much better if you make it yourself. It has so many uses. I love having this on a pavlova, lemon cakes with lemon curd in between the layers, or a lemon roll cake. You can flavor buttercream with lemon curd for a lemon flavor. And you can also pair it with scones and clotted cream, or fill Linzer cookies. So many things. Okay, that's about 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna transfer this to a medium bowl right now. Or if you wanna use your food processor, pop it into your food processor bowl. Lemon curd should be like velvety and silky smooth. This is full of flavor, but is not smooth. We'll be straining it out later, but right now we want to get all the flavor out. We'll do this with sugar. 1 cup or 200 grams of granulated sugar. If you're using a food processor, just whiz it up right now. It'll become a light yellow color and look like wet sand. If you're doing it by hand, use your clean hands, collect this, and just rub it together. The sugar is like sandpaper, and it'll agitate all the oil out of the zest. And what you end up with is lemon sugar. If you're making any kind of a citrus dessert, you can always do this. You can amp up the flavor by taking lemon or orange or even lime zest, rubbing it with your sugar, and then using it in the recipe. It's really easy to do by hand. You can see fairly quickly it starts looking kind of wet. That's from the oil. And you can really smell the lemon flavor. By the way, if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button. There's 2 new delicious recipes every week. You can see my sugar is now kind of wet looking, a light lemon color, and it smells amazing. You can't see that, but trust me. Once that's the case, set this aside, and we are going to grab our lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice, please. Roll those lemons out. I want these easily juiced. We want 100 mils or about 7 tablespoons of lemon juice here. So squeeze it out, separate the seeds. It's so funny because lemon curd has this beautiful, like bright, sunny, lemony color, but that doesn't come from the lemons, that comes from the egg yolks. Like once you have this mixture and you're in process, before you add the egg yolks, it looks really, really disappointing. And if you're using the eggs that have those beautiful, incredibly deep orange yolks, like when the hens are foraging for insects and getting all the omegas, your curd can look orange, like orange. You'd think it's orange curd, but it's lemon curd with darker yolks. I think we're at 100 mils, let's see. Perfect. Set this all aside. Did you know that marble is a metamorphic rock made from limestone, which is made from fossilized seashells, which do not like acid, so acid will melt your marble or your limestone. It's calcium carbonate, I think. You were all asking that question, I know. All right, so now we want to have some egg yolks here to kind of tie it together. The egg yolks will give us a richness, it'll help thicken along with the butter. So get separating. 6 egg yolks, please. And you might see that I have a strainer here. That's because there is a unpleasant part of the egg's anatomy called the Twizzler. Just connected to the yolk. It's that white thing here. It looks like it's like a stringy gelatinous thing, not part of a delicious dessert. So we separate that out by straining. That's the Twizzler. Oh, it's so hard. Oh. New ick unlocked. Look, you see that there? Gross. Anyways, keep going until you have 6 yolks. The whites can be frozen and used later to make a delicious meringue or a healthy egg white omelet. You choose. Break those yolks and let's sieve this out. I've never been so grossed out by Twizzlers, but I've also never talked about it. There's a lot of yolk trapped on this sieve, which does not make me happy. So don't throw this in the trash yet. Right now, we're gonna add the sugar into the pot. Whisk this together until it is a nice light color. Just a little stirring and you can see it's a beautiful pastel yellow. I'm gonna stir the lemon juice in gradually, but the first splash is going through this sieve so I can kind of knock out the rest of the yolk. This isn't necessary. I am a double Virgo, so you're just witnessing how my mind works. You don't have to do this. Great. So stir that together, drizzle this in as you stir. And before this goes onto the stove, just make sure you have half a cup of cold butter at the ready. 113 grams. Unsalted, please. We're ready to go onto the stovetop. Low heat. You're gonna be whisking until this thickens. Have your butter somewhere at hand. And it might be nice to have a wooden spoon on hand as well, just so you can do that nice, satisfying test for readiness. So I'm stirring, this is over low heat. You don't wanna go too high. And my wooden spoon's at the ready just so I can show you. If I dip this in right now, it coats it for a few seconds, but then it slides off and becomes clear again. That's not ready. Once this thickens up, we'll see. You'll definitely see this color change a little bit, the texture will change, and we'll finish off the proving that it's ready with the wooden spoon. But in the meantime, put your favorite podcast on, you will be stirring for a few minutes. I will say that the time that you stir totally depends on your cooktop and some level of wizarding magic, because it's always different for everybody. You really have to test for the consistency. Not even testing for the temperature, it's about the thickness. Okay? Not too many minutes later, you can see a huge difference in the color and the texture. And when I grab that wooden spoon, it's definitely coating the back. Look at that. Okay. Off heat now, and I'm gonna add the butter in. Just cube it up into smaller pieces. So, cut like tablespoon-sized pieces of butter, pop that into your pan. And this does a couple of things. It cools it, and it'll thicken it, and it'll give it a completely different mouthfeel. So now, like I took a taste, tastes nice. Just this bit of butter will give you an incredible richness, the velvety texture, and it'll just dissolve on your tongue in a very different way. This is why when you go to a restaurant, every dish is started and finished with a giant knob of butter. Not every, but almost every. Stir this in. Adding that butter actually loosened it up. Now it's more liquidy, but that's okay because the butter will cool down and give you that thicker, velvetier texture. You can't use this immediately. It needs to cool down. You could use this in an hour or two once it's cooled, or you could pop this into a closed container. It'll store for a week in the refrigerator or 2 months in the freezer. I'm using this later today for a delicious lemon roll cake. So it's gonna go into a bowl to cool down quickly. And there's an optional step, and that is to give it a final strain. This will remove any globs of egg yolk that might have cooked too fast, as well as almost all of that lemon zest that gave so much flavor, but now only has fiber. I say this is optional in my recipe, but my mom never omits the straining. Actually, that's not true. When I was growing up, she didn't, but now, as she's slightly older and more carefree, she will sometimes not do that. Okay, get the rest out. And if you're thinking, oh, that bowl is so big for the amount of lemon curd you have, this is true, but I want to have more surface area so this cools down more quickly. So a larger bowl or even a pie tin will work really well here. If you've given your curd a final strain, you can pop this into a small closed container to store for later. If you're using it within an hour or two, just cover the surface with plastic so it doesn't develop a skin. My curd's going into the fridge. With the magic of editing, I will show you the proper texture once chilled. Once cooled and set, your curd is ready to enjoy. Look at that velvety, beautiful texture. Lemon curd really is liquid sunshine. It tastes like a hug. It's zingy, but buttery, perfectly sweet, and so fresh. I hope you get a chance to make this delicious recipe. And if you like my videos, hit that subscribe button and check out my lemon playlist.